I'm Russ Mellon from The Direct. Thank you for talking to me today about the show.
Thank you, Russ. Thanks for coming and supporting the show.
Of course, of course. My first question for you is, in the first episode or two, you're actually almost entirely on Zoom
FaceTime.
or FaceTime. Yeah.
Yes.
What was that like, filming those scenes and having to do all that by yourself?
Well, Taylor shot them, and we did them in 3 hours.
so good, nice and easy.
Yeah, I mean, the way that Taylor shoots is incredibly fast, incredibly high pressure. And, the first scene, actually, of the entire show is when I come off the G5. And it was a crew of 300. I'm expecting to rehearse. I'm expecting to do a run-through, see some blocking, where am I landing, get some eye lines, nothing. Action! I walk off the plane, and I am fully in this world and going into a huge scene with Billy and Michelle. And it was just like, it's the Wild West, but this is how this boy likes to direct, so you better get on board. I hang on tight.
Did you do those scenes in order? Did you do all the FaceTime stuff first before you even got to set?
No, we did it a month before we finished shooting. We were down there for 5 months. It was definitely an arduous shoot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I actually wanted to ask about that. Texas, I heard the weather is a tricky beast. So what was it like filming in that kind of environment?
We got a lot of lightning delays, and the weather is very intense, where you think it's going to be hot, and all of a sudden it's hailing, and it's 42 degrees. So you have one side of it, but, the show is set in Texas, and part of the show is like these long drives that Billy's on and how much land there is there, and it really sets the tone in the world that we're working in. Which is West Texas in the Permian Basin. And so I think that being there was really incredible to be able to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For you, what was something about your character that you feel you added that wasn't necessarily on the page originally?
Oh, gosh. Well, it's interesting. Okay. So I did not get offered this role. I had to audition 3 times and screen test 19 pages for it. I fought for this woman because I loved her the second I read the first page that he sent me. And I knew she was a wildcat, and I also know that, Taylor loves to create, powerful women. And there's definitely a scene in episode 5. I have a very, very long 8-page scene where it's like I'm leading the charge through this entire family dinner into a full breakdown in the kitchen. And I think that for me, it was always finding the humanity in her, because she's kind of she can be a little caustic and she whips a bit, and she can be really tough. And for me, it wasn't interesting just to play that. I wanted to find how she showed her love. So sometimes where it was supposed to be kind of in one direction, I really found a way to find the humor in it.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of her.
Last question for you. There's a lot of television out there, right? What makes Landman unique amongst all of that?
That's the best is. I mean, Taylor, I think this is the best show that he's ever done. He not only takes these incredible characters, the crew that he works with, from the DP to the wardrobe to, our ADs, everyone involved is giving 110%. This is no layup, we were down there for 5 months. We worked our asses off, and I think that you can feel it on this show. And I also think that what he does is, he's romanticized the American West. And so when you go into West Texas and into the world of oil, you see this world that you've never seen before. And not only do you have the high-flying billionaires, you have the cartel. You have the dangerous underbelly of that world. And then you also have the love story, and you have the family story. There's so much going on. And I think that what he's incredible in is weaving all that together to make, extremely unforgettable television.
Hi, I'm Russ Mellon from The Direct. It's great to meet you guys today.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
For you guys as performers, what was the most challenging part of your time on Landman?
I think for me the most challenging part is that Ariana's story is so beautiful, and we wanted to get it right. And so that was always the challenge. And so having those conversations and making sure it was executed.
Mm-hmm. I think for me, Taylor Sheridan puts a lot of trust in his actors, and you have some freedom with your blocking and the way you do things. So I'm personally not used to that. So being able to show up with some ideas of adding your own personal touch, it was challenging and really exciting.
What was it like building chemistry with everyone else on the cast? Did you guys do stuff off set to kind of build that camaraderie, or?
Absolutely. Hanging out with the cast and just getting to get a feel for each other and getting to know each other. And I mean, it's such a beautiful, well-rounded cast, and so it was just so fun being in the mix.
Yeah, all our green rooms, everyone was in one room too. It was really a nice bonding experience.
Yeah, for sure.
For you both, what was something that you feel that you guys added to your own characters that maybe wasn't originally on the page?
I think for Rebecca, there's a vulnerability to her that maybe wouldn't be so obvious. I hope one day we get to see more of that, but she's a strong woman in a man's world, and she works very hard, but the challenges she has to deal with, I think they do affect her. She just doesn't show it because she can't.
Yeah.
Because she won't. So I think her vulnerability.
Yeah, I love that. I think for me, getting to dig into this character and having the scenes come to life, I definitely brought in my mom and my grandma. They definitely popped up in the scenes. Like after some of the takes or the days, I'm just like, wow, that was my grandma, and it was just kind of amazing. I think she would have loved the show.
There's a lot of TV out there. So what about Landman really stands out as unique amongst all the competition?
Ooh, so much. The family drama, heartwarming storylines, and just this amazing educational too. It's also very educational. It's getting to dive into the oil industry.
It'll warm your heart. It'll break your heart.
Yes.
You'll learn a lot about a crazy industry that is truly the Wild West.
So interesting. Yeah.
The show's all about the oil industry. So just for you guys, what is something surprising that you learned about the oil industry within your time on the show?
How dangerous it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it is not easy work that these guys have to go in. And with operating these machines, one wrong move and your life is in danger every single day. So that was very surprising.
Yeah, and it's just also putting yourself in the situation of like being the family members of the work crew. It's nerve-wracking, and you're just always just like living day by day.
Yeah.
I've heard stories about how filming in Texas can be a very interesting process, and it's intense. The weather is all over the place. So what was it like filming in Texas?
The weather, lightning.
Oh my God, lightning delays, the wind when they were on the rigs. They said that it was super windy, and so
driving to work. I was like, oh, I'm not in Kansas anymore. They drive fast there, and you got to keep up.
Yeah. Texas drivers.
For both of you guys, just on a personal level, what are you most proud of with how the show turned out?
Everything. I'm proud to be part of such an amazing cast, an amazing show.
Just that so much love was put into it, and the vision that was, I believe, executed very beautifully from everybody.
I'm Russ Milheim from The Direct. Thank you guys for talking to me today about the show.
Thanks, Russ.
Congratulations, first and foremost.
Thank you.
Now, my first question for you is just when it comes to Landman, for each of you, what was the most challenging aspect for you guys as actors?
Probably the physically demanding, as far as my character goes. I think that was learning that curve was probably the biggest part.
I eat a lot. I eat a lot. Beans and a lot of bad stuff. And just getting into the mindset every day that I'm going to eat 6 cans of beans today was a bit of a challenge. But it's in service of the story.
Do you still like beans?
Do I still like beans? Good question. Not really. I mean, yeah, of course, man. Yeah, that was deli, not me.
I think for me, the most challenging part for me was just getting over the reality that Taylor Sheridan was sitting on the other side of the camera, and Billy Bob was sitting right beside me, and just sort of getting over but that was turned into an adrenaline rush that was really super satisfying. But day one was a little bit, but Taylor made it work. It makes you feel part of the crew day one,
Now, the cast is pretty large for this show. Can you guys talk about just building the chemistry between you all and all the scenes you had and stuff maybe you did offset to kind of build that up?
Didn't really have to work at it, right, guys? I mean, Taylor knows how to cast, I'll tell you. And we all clicked pretty quickly, I think, right? I felt that way. And,
Yeah, it felt like I knew everybody.
Yeah, really. It's
Before
so
we got
true.
out there, you know.
I mean, look, that's not really the case generally. I mean, usually it's manufactured in some way, the chemistry between actors. But this was such a great group of hardworking, fine folks that I was excited to go to work every day.
It's been said so many times that it is a family, but we really did build a family just within
In
days.
no time. In no time, yeah.
What's something in your performances, what's something that you feel you guys added to your own characters that wasn't originally on the page?
Dale is very, very good at his job. He's got a scientific brain. He's not the most articulate guy. It's hard for him to put things into words. Maybe I'm having that problem right now. But so I embraced that a little bit. Actually, I did, and brought that to Dale, and Taylor really enjoyed that. So there's some moments where he's trying to say what the I just he knows what he but you put him on a patch on the rig on the patch, flawless, beautiful, gets it done.
From my perspective as the sheriff, I mean, it's all on the page really, but I think maybe if there's anything I brought was the understanding of how much people who, a sheriff of a small town cares about the people who he serves, and how much he cares, and because he knows these families and know them, these people are all their family. It's a community of families, that are close. They all work together and they live together and they worship together, But, Sheriff Joeberg cares about the people that get hurt, cares about the people in trouble, cares about Tommy. And Tommy's always in some kind of trouble,
Yeah.
I wish I could say I added something. I just want to be Cooper.
Yeah.
I have no idea what I'm bringing. I'm more focused on just trying to make the things that are there.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just have to watch and see. I'll make that conclusion later. Not really sure.
Now, there's a lot of television out there. What do you guys feel is the most unique element of Landman that really sets it apart from
Well,
other
it's not
competition?
television. It's not. It's a 10-hour movie. Everything Taylor does are hour-long movies in episodic form. It's one big, long story. And they're all interconnected, and without episode 7, episode 3 doesn't work. Without episode 2, episode 10 doesn't work. It's a very one long movie we tell over 10 hours. And that's unique, I think, in this medium.
I think the scale of it's unique for
Yeah.
this show. I mean, it's like Giant, or something. If you're a fan of the history of oil films, this could be, James Dean and.
Oh, yeah, Giant,
Yeah,
whatever that is.
yeah.
It's the pulling back of the curtain. You get to see. Someone
Except-
explained it earlier. It's pulling the top off.
Yeah,
of
it's like
a
the
beautiful thing, yeah.
the real underbelly of Giant. But it's fascinating to be a part of it, but also to witness it as they've made it.